The iPhone X, or the iPhone X. The name is as confusing as the product itself is game-changing. Tim Cook's vision finally overwhelmed Steve Jobs' ideological remnants. A new dawn for the iPhones has begun. Free of the iconic home key and the notorious screen bezels. Some say the iPhone X screen is a notch bigger than the iPhone 8's, and they aren't far away from the truth. And the notch itself may be annoyingly obvious at times, for sure. But it's not the name you have to remember, but the new iOS gestures with a steep learning curve and questionable logic. The Apple iPhone X's most anticipated feature is, of course, the 5.8 AMOLED screen with HDR video support, and 1125x2436px resolution. The resulting pixel density is 458 pi, a flagship one for sure. The screen has a rather unusual ratio of 19.59, taller even than Samsung's 18.59. In fact, ignoring the top portion leaves a screen that's just about 18.59 in aspect ratio. If you were to show 16:9 content on it, the traditional widescreen format that all TV shows and YouTube videos use, you're left with what is effectively a 4.96 screen. That's obviously bigger than the iPhone 8's, but way smaller than the iPhone 8 Plus display. The iPhone X also supports the latest voice over LTE, VoLTE, HD voice and Wi-Fi calling protocols, but those are carrier-dependent features. There is also support for NFC, and thanks to iOS 11's new Core NFC API, the reader's functionality works for NFC tag reading besides Apple Pay. The iPhone X supports reading any NDEF formatted tag, but only within an app, which can read and take action. This last requirement makes us doubtful whether this also means the iPhones will now be able to make use of the NFC-assisted pairing to various wireless peripherals and accessories, which Android users have been enjoying for ages. Unfortunately, we didn't have one handy to try it out, but we'll update the section when we grab hold of more info. There is number 3.5mm audio jack on board the phone, but you can use the provided Lightning to 3.5mm adapter to continue using your favorite pair of wired headphones with the iPhone. Or go for wireless headphones. The Apple iPhone X runs on the latest iOS 11. It can't be a new generation of iPhones without a new Apple chip, and this year the custom silicon is called A11 Bionic. Apple has moved from a quad-core processor up to a 6-core one with the first-ever Apple-designed GPU. Previous chipsets used GPUs by power. There are 3 GB of RAM inside the Apple iPhone X. The A11 Bionic chip features 2 high-powered 2.39 GHz Monsoon cores that are 25% more powerful than the 2.34 GHz Hurricane ones in the A10 Fusion. The 4 Mistral cores are power-efficient and are 75% faster than the 2 low-power Zephyr cores in the A10 Fusion. All those 6 cores can run simultaneously. The raw performance of the 3-core A11 GPU is 40% more powerful than the top-of-the-line Adreno 540 GPU by Qualcomm. It's also 40% faster than the Apple A10's Power 7 XT series implementation. In real life, our experience just confirms what the synthetic benchmark suggested: butter-smooth performance everywhere, system, apps, games, multitasking. Everything runs hiccup-free on the iPhone X, and the phone manages to stay mostly cool in spite of the glass design. Photos is a very easy-to-use gallery app with support for various automatic places, faces, etc., and custom albums, camera roll, and even recently deleted the section. The iPhone X shares a lot of its internals with the iPhone 8 and iPhone 8 Plus, but the bits and pieces related to audio output are seemingly different. It's been a while since an iPhone was among the best audio devices in the market, but the iPhone X manages to pull that off. The Apple iPhone X keeps a similar dual 12MP wide plus telephoto camera setup as the iPhone 7 and 8 Plus. While the wide-angle sensor sits behind the same f1.8 lens, the telephoto 1 has been updated with optical stabilization and new wider f2.4 lens. A large piece of scratch-resistant sapphire glass is supposed to keep them away from harm's way. The iPhone X, just like the 8 Plus, has Sony XMR sensors. The wide-angle camera has a 1.22 MP size, and the telephoto camera has a 1.0 MP pitch. As before. While you can check out how the iPhone X 12MP wide-angle and telephoto cameras perform in our dedicated compare tool. The iPhone X surprisingly used its telephoto camera in our low-light studio test, and you can see it does better than the digitally zoomed samples of the iPhone 8 Plus and Galaxy Note E8.